So for today's job that I'm completing, I'll be using some secondhand synthetic grass, a hammer, some weed mat pins, a Stanley knife, a shovel, and a rake for clearing some initial rocks and soil.
G'day everybody, how you going? Welcome to Kenji's World. And today, on our little job, I have got this little front garden, which I had built these garden beds in prior, but now we've got an issue with the middle. The rock is kind of running down because of the water. So I have got some old AstroTurf that I've donated to this client here, this wonderful client here. And we're gonna pitch it in the middle, just cut it, use some materials that I showed prior, and hopefully make it look a whole lot better. Enjoy.
In the beginning, I removed as many weeds as I could in the existing area. Then, using my shovel and the rake, I started preparing the slope for the AstroTurf to be placed on top of it, making it as smooth as I could so the walk down is nice and comfortable.
Alright, so I'm gonna bring this first piece in, which I'm just gonna sit down the bottom here. Big piece, and I already brought it up and I kind of folded it to size. Pretty much this is the point where I'm gonna bring it over to. And I got a bit of overlap here as well, which is fine. I'll use the weed mat pins to get 2 for 1 here. Hopefully that'll hold it nice and strong. So I'll pin the side first, hold that in position, and then I'll cut this side off. Make sure it's in line with where I want it. My only adversary, rocks. Be mindful of the terrain because that will definitely have an influence on what kind of tools you may use. It's starting to rain. Now the side is pegged, I can cut this off and start putting it into place down here. So the one thing with cutting synthetic grass, always cut from the back. The front side, you might seem you could get the fold and you think it's easier to follow through that way. It's not. The back is where it's held together. A nice sharp blade and just cut your line. And also, see this bit here where there's the gap from the wall and I've folded it over? It's gonna be so much better to cut it back a little bit closer to you so when it folds over, it makes its way over to the wall. Instead of trying to fold it in there and trying to get a nice clean cut at that point, just pull it back a bit, give yourself that excess, cut it down the line, and it should fold into place.
So an interesting technique I found with weed mat pins was that I could pinch the base whilst I was hammering for as long as I can, which meant that even if I did encounter a rock or something hard and the pin wanted to bend, I still could hold it in place so that it would drive through and then I can pin all the way down to the ground.
And now for the final piece up here, and we're pretty much done. For these junctions here, I found it really nice to just open it up, that weed mat peg, so I can cross those 2 boundaries and just keep it well supported because you are probably going to hit some rocks. But as long as you're supporting it, bam, look at that. Beautiful. This one needs a peg too. Why that pinching technique just works so well. Not every time. Just move it along a bit. And look at it now. Pretty easy, simple, and effective, and a good use of old materials. There it is. Kenji's well built for the day.